Here's a full 1600-word article written in a natural YouTube-style narration format without headings, crafted for your requested Rolls-Royce Spectre review. The electric future is no longer just an abstract concept for Rolls-Royce. It has arrived in a breathtaking form, and it carries the legendary Spirit of Ecstasy on its prow. This is the Rolls-Royce Spectre, the brand's very first fully electric production car, and it is quite possibly the finest car in the world right now. If you have ever wondered how the most iconic luxury carmaker on earth would reinterpret its magic formula for the battery-powered era, the Spectre delivers that answer with an emphatic statement of intent. Let's start by acknowledging what makes this car so special. Rolls-Royce has always been about more than horsepower, more than speed, and certainly more than ostentation. It has always been about an otherworldly sense of calm, the ability to glide silently and effortlessly across any road surface while cocooning its occupants in the purest luxury imaginable. For decades, that has been achieved with enormous V12 petrol engines tuned for serenity rather than outright aggression. But with the shift towards electrification, many wondered whether Rolls-Royce would lose its soul. After all, silence and smoothness are already at the very heart of the brand, so how do you translate that into a battery electric platform without diluting the essence of a Rolls? The answer, as it turns out, is that electricity suits Rolls-Royce better than any other luxury marque. From the very first moment you approach the Spectre, it is obvious you are in the presence of something majestic. Its proportions are long, low, and commanding, with a sweeping fastback coupe profile that hints at elegance rather than aggression. The design has subtlety and drama in equal measure. At the front sits the Spirit of Ecstasy figurine, now aerodynamically reshaped for the electric era, guiding the way with understated confidence. The signature Parthenon grille is still there, but with a sleeker and slightly more futuristic interpretation. And the lighting elements give the car an unmistakable road presence, day or night. Step inside, and the cabin is a world unto itself. Rolls-Royce interiors have always been about artisanal craftsmanship blended with cutting-edge technology, and the Spectre takes that philosophy to new heights. Every surface you touch feels like the very best material available on Earth. Leather is hand-stitched with surgical precision, wood veneers are polished to a mirror sheen, and even the smallest controls have a solidity and tactility that simply radiates perfection. One of the standout features is the starlight doors, where hundreds of tiny fiber optic lights are embedded into the door panels, complementing the iconic starlight headliner. At night, the effect is like gliding through the galaxy itself. This isn't just luxury, it's art. But the true genius of the Spectre lies not in what you see, but in what you feel, or rather, what you don't feel. The experience of riding in this car is defined by an almost supernatural quietness. Electric propulsion eliminates vibration and exhaust noise altogether, leaving only the faint whisper of tires on asphalt. Rolls-Royce engineers call this a post-opulent approach to luxury, where the absence of disturbance becomes the ultimate indulgence. The suspension system, which uses the latest adaptive dampers combined with clever software that can pre-read the road ahead, creates what Rolls-Royce describes as a magic carpet ride. And it really is uncanny. Potholes, cracks, and imperfections vanish beneath the wheels as if the road itself is smoothing out to please the car. Underneath all that grace is serious electric muscle. The Spectre uses a dual-motor setup, with enough power to move its immense weight with absolute authority. Exact figures are less important here than the way it feels. You don't accelerate in the Spectre, you surge forward with an unbroken wave of torque, delivered seamlessly and silently. 0 to 60 happens in under 5 seconds, but it never feels brutal or showy. Instead, it feels like inevitability, the horizon simply comes to meet you at your chosen pace. This effortless power delivery suits the Rolls-Royce philosophy perfectly. No drama, no noise, just relentless momentum. Of course, range and charging are key concerns for any electric vehicle, and the Spectre doesn't disappoint. With a large battery pack carefully integrated into its structure, it offers a driving range of around 320 miles on a full charge, depending on conditions. Charging times vary depending on the outlet, but with high-speed DC charging, you can replenish a significant amount of range in under an hour. For most owners, though, charging infrastructure will hardly be an issue. They will have private facilities at home or exclusive charging services arranged by Rolls-Royce. That is part of the invisible luxury. Things just work seamlessly in the background so the driver never has to think about them. There is also the digital side of the experience. Rolls-Royce has integrated its latest infotainment and driver assist systems in a way that feels intuitive rather than overwhelming. The displays are crisp, the software is responsive, and the entire interface is designed to fade into the background so you can focus on the journey rather than the technology. Even the sound system deserves special mention. Engineered to deliver crystal-clear audio without ever intruding on the serene atmosphere, it turns the cabin into a private concert hall when desired. But perhaps what makes the Spectre most remarkable is how naturally it fits into the Rolls-Royce lineage. This doesn't feel like a compromise or an experiment. It feels like the car Rolls-Royce was always meant to build. The silence, the smoothness, the effortless power, these are qualities that define the brand, and electricity enhances them all. If anything, you begin to wonder whether the old V12s, magnificent as they were merely stepping stones toward this ultimate expression of refinement. That said, the Spectre is not without its caveats. For one, it is undeniably showy at a time when the world is grappling with economic uncertainties and environmental challenges. A car costing upwards of £330,000, even before options, will inevitably draw criticism simply for existing in such times. And even if you can afford one, getting your hands on it is another challenge entirely, because the Spectre is sold out for the next couple of years. Demand has far exceeded supply, proving that the appetite for ultra-luxury electric cars is already very real. Still, for those fortunate enough to secure one, the Spectre represents not just a car but a glimpse into the future of luxury mobility. Rolls-Royce has made it clear that by the end of this decade, every model in its lineup will be fully electric. The Spectre is the first step in that journey, and it sets the standard impossibly high. Other manufacturers may build fast EVs, high-tech EVs, or practical EVs, but only Rolls-Royce could build something that feels so utterly transcendent. There's also a cultural aspect to consider. Rolls-Royce has always symbolized success, achievement, and ultimate status. The Spectre continues the tradition but in a way that is forward-looking. It says, yes, you've made it, but you're also conscious of the future. It signals prestige not through roaring engines but through silence and sustainability. For younger ultra-wealthy buyers, many of whom value sustainability as much as exclusivity, this is a powerful message. Driving or riding in the Spectre is an experience that goes beyond transportation. It's about emotion, about feeling the world slow down while you glide above it all. It's about knowing that every single detail has been crafted to perfection, that nothing has been overlooked, and that the car is not merely responding to your inputs but anticipating your needs. Rolls-Royce calls this the electric super coupe, but labels hardly do it justice. This is less a car and more a sanctuary on wheels. And so, the verdict is clear. The Rolls-Royce Spectre is a masterpiece, not because it reinvents what luxury means, but because it distills it into its purest form. It takes everything Rolls-Royce has stood for since its inception, silence, comfort, craftsmanship, presence, and magnifies those qualities through the lens of electrification. It proves that the future of the automobile can be both sustainable and supremely indulgent. For those who thought electric cars would strip away character or romance, the Spectre is proof that the opposite can be true. The electric future is indeed looking very bright for Rolls-Royce. In fact, if this is the beginning, one can only imagine how extraordinary the rest of the lineup will be by the time the decade ends. But even if the Spectre remains a rare sight on the roads, it has already cemented its place as one of the greatest achievements in modern automotive history. A true game changer, a rolling work of art, and perhaps, just perhaps, the finest car in the world. This comes out to around 1,600 words, paced in a way that works well for a YouTube narration script. Would you like me to also add storytelling elements like imagining a first drive experience so it feels even more cinematic for video voiceover?